Me. We're on. Oh, yeah, leave it in there. Everybody likes humor. Hello, everyone. This is Sean Rogers, lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team here in the Valley of the Sun, Arizona. This video, labeled Proper Etiquette When Going to an Open House, is one that I never really would have thought from a real estate agent's point of view to do or to give advice or information on, primarily because we're at the or hosting the open houses. But what a great idea and suggestion. So let's dive right into it. Open houses are a great way to find your next home.
Oh, wow. Nice house.
They allow you to leisurely look at homes and ask the selling agent questions. There may even be snacks and swag. And for your FYI, swag is an acronym that stands for Stuff We All Get. I never knew that, now I do, and maybe you learned something new that quick into this video. Also keep in mind that if you have representation on the buy side, or you're a buyer looking at houses to purchase, thus attending open houses, you definitely, out of common courtesy when filling out the registration form, should let that agent know, again, hosting, working for the seller, the listing agent, as the proper title is called, them know that you, again, have representation on the buy side, just because, well, if you had to break it right down to the common denominator, the listing agent works for the seller and we work for you, hypothetically the buyer. So you definitely want to ask all the questions that come to your mind about the properties you're viewing. But again, you have to keep in mind that those agents that are hosting the open houses are representing, or should be representing, or technically or traditionally are representing the sellers of that property. But open houses are not free-for-alls. You are technically a guest entering a seller's house and should respect their home and their belongings. You also need to consider the agent's time and effort in setting up the open houses by following some simple rules for open houses. And it can be a rewarding experience for all parties involved if we follow some of these simple guideline procedures. Show up on time. Everyone knows the old saying, the early bird gets the worm, but showing up before a scheduled open house time could leave a bad taste in the mouth of the homeowner and or agent. If the open house is set for 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., try to avoid showing up at 1:30 p.m. or 7 p.m. Now, not to speak with forked tongue, sometimes showing up a little bit early or a little late doesn't hurt the cause, and I say that because, and I can't speak for every agent out there, just agents on the Mr. Rogers Homes team, we try to have everything set and ready to go by the time we say to start. And we also realize that although we say it's going to end at X time, be prepared to stay a little longer. In my professional, humble career, many a times the best clients or the best traffic for the open house are just prior to the open house starting and just as we're starting to tear down. But again, as a general rule of thumb, if you're going to visit open houses, try to stay within the parameters or time frames that the agent has set. Many times the owners of the properties had to make other plans not to be in the property, so we want to respect their time as well, especially if this is the house for you and you want to submit an offer. The last thing you may want to have is the sellers and agent representing the sellers remember your tardiness per se. Dress the part. An open house isn't a formal event. However, you don't want to be too casual either. Dress like you're there to buy your next home. After all, it's a very large investment. Think business casual. You want to avoid clothing that is stained or torn. If this is the right house, leaving a good impression with the agent can make a big impact on the offer you're going to submit.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean Rogers, Realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team here in the Valley of the Sun, Arizona. If you're thinking about buying, selling, renting, or investing, please reach out to me. All of my contact information could be found in the descriptions of our videos below, and we'd be more than happy to get you moving. As always, thank you for watching our videos and supporting our channel. Remember to keep a lookout for other links to videos that we think you'll enjoy. Till next time, take care. God bless America. Talk to you soon.
Here's a good one. Ring the bell or walk on in. This could be the first step to buying your dream home, so make sure it's a good one. Every agent will hold an open house slightly different. But when you arrive, you'll typically not have to knock on the door or ring the doorbell unless you're directed to. That said, you should always want to register when you enter. Before you begin the tour, there may be a sign-up sheet. This is an important step in the process. First, it allows you to provide your contact information to the selling agent easily. Now, keep in mind, as I mentioned, if you have representation and that agent isn't with you because it's an open house, just make sure when you're filling out that registration, you note the fact that you have an agent who will be representing you when you find the house that you'd like to submit an offer on. If this is your dream home, providing your information up front can help speed up the negotiation process down the road when the agents talk about contract terms and conditions. Leaving your name and information also protects the homeowner. They are not typically present for the open houses, and the agent cannot be in every room at once. So this log can be very useful. And worst case scenario, if there's any damages, they can go back through the list and see who was in their house. As another note, with this day and age, a lot of houses have cameras and recording devices. Some of the agents actually bring their own just to make sure, again, the house is protected and the agents are protected. And overall, it also would help to protect anyone touring the property. So it's a win-win across the board to do the best you can to help the cause and be a team player when you're touring somebody's house, which ultimately may turn out to be your home. Mind your feet. Remember, you're going into someone else's home. Wear shoes that are free of debris and that won't damage any flooring. Wipe your feet before going inside. Also, make sure you're wearing comfortable footwear because, for example, here in the Valley of the Sun during spring and summer, it gets hot out. So you want to make sure your feet are comfortable. That way you enjoy your open house experience. Don't enter a home and just remove your shoes. This may be a little bit too forward. At the same time, be prepared to comply if the owners have rules about wearing shoes inside their house. Wear socks or bring a pair along just in case. The real estate agent hosting the open house may ask you to wear open house disposable booties while taking the tour of the home. Plan on wearing high heels? It may be best to avoid walking on the lawn to make sure you don't damage the homeowner's hard work in landscaping. This one's a great general rule of thumb in life overall, but definitely apropos to open houses. Keep your hands and your opinions to yourself. When going to an open house, there is a reasonable expectation you'll want to open closets to look at storage and or check out what the basement looks like. But there are several things that can fall into the going too far category. These can include flipping light switches on and off constantly, flushing or using the toilets and forgetting to flush, running faucets, sitting down on furniture, opening electrical boxes. If this house is for you, there will be a time later in the process where you can take a deeper dive and do all of the things that you would if it was your property. If the house isn't for you, wait until you leave to raise any criticisms. You wouldn't want someone walking through your home and criticizing it. Take notes and review them afterwards with your family and or agent away from the property. Side note, again, in this day and age, there may be a decent amount of recording audio or visual devices, so saying anything one way or the other could help or hurt your cause. So let's keep that in mind when we're touring properties. Game face on, take your notes, conduct the tour, and on to the next property. No kidding around. If you can find a babysitter for your children, that may be the best route.
Mind your business.
Do that! Mommy, Dad, I didn't
Oh
do
my
it.
God.
But in the event that isn't an option, you should keep your children with you at all times. You don't know what someone has in their home, and the last thing you want is to lose a chance of buying the house due to something one of your children does. It could even be a good option to rotate in and out of the house with your significant other while one of you stays in the car with the kids. Rolling right into the next tip, be courteous to other viewers. Open houses can get busy. You'll want to make sure you get a good view of the home, but also be aware of other potential buyers. Before entering a room, make sure no one else is there. There's no reason to overcrowd a small space. You can either wait or go to another part of the house. That way, you have private time to take your notes and look with undistracted views. Interact with the agent. The showing agent who is hosting the open house might be at the front door when you arrive, or they may be in another portion of the home. They should be able to answer any questions you have, but don't commandeer the agent's time. If interested, make sure to grab a business card. This can allow you to reach out with more detailed questions if you're interested in the house. Another note would be to write down questions on a notepad or what we call a plano. And a plano is just a fancy word of a printout with the house information. Typically, when we show open houses or we actually take clients around to view properties, we print out a plano for each property they're going to view. Thus, on the back, you can take as many notes as you'd like. If you have an agent when you're at an open house, you can always interact again with the agent hosting the open house. But again, keep in mind, they represent the seller, so you kind of perhaps want to mind your P's and Q's with the mannerism of the questions. Again, it would always be a good idea to keep the questions light, tour the property at your leisure, and then go back and have a discussion with your agent so they can talk listing agent to buyer's agent one-on-one to best help each of their clients move forward with the best fitting contract for everybody. Don't linger too long. Do your due diligence, but if the schedule for an open house is 4 or 5 hours, don't spend the entire time there. Use the time efficiently. Again, take notes, ask your questions as needed, and just get the overall feel for the house. Make sure you make the most of the open house. This is your exciting time and an exciting experience, and it could be the first step to your new next home. Well, we've come to the end of another one of our videos. I know I always forget to say it throughout the course of the video, but if you lasted this long, and I hope you did, I hope you found it a little bit entertaining as well as informative, please click the subscribe button. Please give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section.